Ahoy there, pirates! Amir, or One Falcon, here from Rare Thief. With Guybrush rescued, it's time to face LeChuck. You must reunite with Guybrush to prevent LeChuck from reforging the Sword of Souls into the formidable Burning Blade. If you don't, LeChuck will use the weapon's power to imprison any pirate who stands in his way. However, before you can reach LeChuck, you'll need to find a way down to the lava-filled catacombs below Monkey Island. Once you crack open the stone monkey head, you can start your descent to confront LeChuck. To start the third Legend of Monkey Island tall tale, the Lair of LeChuck, you'll want to head over to Kate at the capsized charters on any outpost in the Sea of Thieves. Once you've found Kate, look just to the right of her to find 3 tall tale books. Approach and interact with the book for the Lair of LeChuck to vote on and start the tall tale. During your conversation with Kate, the Pirate Lord will appear and open a portal in a nearby archway to the Sea of the Damned. Sail through the archway and you will teleport to a Tunnel of the Damned. This tunnel will take you to Monkey Island, where you will start your adventure to stop LeChuck. As soon as you enter the Tunnel of the Damned, you will no longer be in control of your ship. You can let go of your ship's wheel and freely roam around your vessel. Guybrush, aboard the Black Pearl, will shortly join you. With the help of his crew, Guybrush will brew the potion necessary for reaching Monkey Island. After Guybrush brews the potion, your ship will continue to travel through the Tunnel of the Damned until it reaches the end, where you will teleport to Monkey Island. Keep sailing north toward Monkey Island. However, as you approach the beach, turn your wheel left and sail northwest around the island. Instead of docking anywhere along the island, you want to place your ship in a specific location to unlock a Commendation later in the tall tale. Keep sailing until you reach the spot on the shoreline where the sand stops and the red rock begins. Park your ship parallel to the beach with your bow against the red rocks and get as close to the beach as possible. After docking your ship, hop off onto the island and equip your quest book. As your quest book suggests, you'll first want to meet with Guybrush at the giant stone monkey head. However, you'll want to find 2 memoir spots and 3 of Herman's notes before you reach him. From your ship, run along the beach heading east. You will eventually come to a lone banana tree. Just south of that are 2 crates and an inkwell on the shoreline. Sit on one of the wooden crates to take in the view at this memoir spot. There are 10 in total that you need to find. After viewing the memoir spot, stand up and walk just north of the banana tree to discover one of Herman Toothrot's notes on a rock covered in bananas. Like the memoir spots, there are also 10 notes that you need to find. Reading these notes will give you essential clues and hints about how to solve the various puzzles around the island. Once you've read the note, keep going east around the beach until you reach the Black Pearl. Swim over to the ship and climb up to speak with Mancomb, Scumbar Chef, and Cobb. After you talk to all 3, you will unlock the Part of the Crew Commendation. Each member of the crew will reiterate that you should meet with Guybrush. So, after you've spoken to the crew on the Black Pearl, hop off the ship and go back to the beach. Continue walking north by northeast towards the shipwrecked sea monkey. However, before you reach the sea monkey, you'll come to an outlet of water leaving the swamp. Stop before crossing the water and face west by northwest toward a large tree. On top of the tree's massive roots is an inkwell. Sit on the root and take in the view at this memoir spot. Hop down from the tree, cross the water, and continue walking north up the beach. Stop at the sea monkey and look for a large pile of wood. Sitting on top of the wood pile is another one of Herman's notes. Read it to learn that a flying boulder from Herman's primitive art sank the ship. From the sea monkey, continue northeast until you reach a dirt path leading to the stone monkey head. Another one of Herman's notes is on the red rock to the right of the dirt path. Read it to learn that the little monkey statues in the jungle point the way to a stone monkey hand. After reading the note, walk up the dirt path, past the private property sign and spiked skulls, until you reach Guybrush. Guybrush is standing by a wooden gate blocking access to the giant stone monkey head. As soon as you find Guybrush, he'll explain that the stone monkey head is locked shut. Unfortunately, someone has hidden the key in the jungle inside some kind of mechanism. To open the mechanism and find the cotton swab key, you must collect 3 monkey idols. Placing all 3 idols on the mechanism will activate it and reveal the key. The mechanism that he's talking about is the stone monkey hand that Herman mentioned. Guybrush will then hand you a map of Monkey Island with markings that hint at the locations of the monkey idols. Open the map to see 2 monkey idols and Herman Toothrot. Herman is on the map instead of the 3rd idol because he has hidden the 3rd idol. You'll need to investigate Herman's camp to find clues to where it is. If you ask Guybrush where to start, he'll tell you to begin your search for the idols by talking to Herman. After talking to Guybrush, turn around and find a large red rock with an inkwell. Sit on the large red rock to take in the view at this memoir spot. As Guybrush said, you must find 3 monkey idols to retrieve the key, and you can start by finding Herman's hidden idol, the buried monkey idol. To begin searching for the buried monkey idol, head to the south beach just below the pillar of smoke billowing from the jungle. Walk into the camp to find Herman stirring a pot of his chilled banana soup. Talk to Herman and you'll discover a few things about the island. Most importantly, you'll learn that a monkey on the island loves Herman's chilled banana soup. However, Herman has yet to catch him with a monkey trap. You'll also want to take note of the chest behind Herman. It's locked now and requires Herman's chest key to unlock it. You'll be recovering that shortly. From Herman, turn around and pick up Herman's note from the nearby wooden crate. You'll add 4 pages to your quest book. Equip your quest book from your quest radial and flip to the pages you just added. First, read the Herman's Jobs page to learn about Herman's supply cache and monkey trap. Next, read the Even More Jobs page to discover Herman is hiding the supply cache key in one of 4 wooden carvings around the jungle. Finally, read the Herman's Final Jobs page to learn that the location of the secret place is locked in that chest behind Herman. While not needed for this monkey idol, it's important to note that on the More Herman's Jobs page, he writes about hiding a Stockade Key in the flooded crater. You'll also want to remember about the other supplies he mentions, hiding in treetops. Both bits of information will be essential to remember for the caged monkey idol. Before you start the hunt for the supply cache key so you can collect some chilled banana soup, you'll want to sit down at another memoir spot. From Herman, walk north past the monkey trap and stop before the wooden bridge. Turn left and then take another left to find a dense portion of the jungle. You'll find a red rock against a large dead tree with an inkwell nearby. Sit on the red rock to take in the view at this memoir spot. Alright, back to the supply cache key. From the memoir spot, make your way back to the wooden bridge and cross it over the ravine. Once you reach the other side, turn left and walk until you reach the pig animal carving on your right. Interact with it to open it up and see if the supply cache key is inside. If it is, pick it up and head back to Herman's camp. If you didn't find the key, continue on and take the path just after the pig to the right. You will eventually come to a pointing stone monkey statue and a parrot animal carving. Interact with the parrot to see if the key is inside. If it is, pick it up and head back to Herman's camp. If you still need to find the key, keep going and take the path just after the parrot to the right. You'll come to another pointing stone statue. Do as the monkey statue suggests and go right to the east. You'll eventually come to another monkey statue. Follow this monkey statue's directions and go left. You'll walk right into the monkey animal carving. Open up the monkey to look for the key. Pick it up and return to Herman if you find it. If not, head southeast from the monkey animal carving. Follow the path to a fork and go right. You will walk right into the chicken animal carving. Interact with it to find the key. With the supply cache key in hand, head back to Herman's camp. Once you're back in Herman's camp, exit the camp using the path to the northeast and walk up the wooden planks to a lantern. You'll find a makeshift ladder that leads down to the ravine, just next to the lantern. Once you're at the bottom of the ravine, head west until you come to an iron cell door. Approach the door and use the key to open the supply cache. Head inside the supply cache and you'll see a chest of chilled banana soup. Across from the chest is another one of Herman's notes. Read the note to learn how Herman sets his monkey trap with chilled banana soup as bait. After you've read the note, interact with the open chest to pick up a jar of chilled banana soup. Once you have the soup, take it back to Herman's camp. With the chilled banana soup in hand, interact with the plate in the monkey trap. You'll pour the soup onto the plate, setting the trap. Shortly after setting the trap, a monkey will appear and freely drink the soup without setting it off. After the monkey drinks the soup, it will run back into the jungle. Herman will get irritated that the monkey trap didn't work and walk over to inspect it. While he's standing over the trap, you can interact with the other end of the rope to spring the monkey trap and capture Herman. Snaring Herman in the monkey trap will unlock the highly strung Commendation. Now that Herman is hanging from the monkey trap, you can interact with the rope near the tied log several times to shake the key from Herman. After you interact with the rope 3 times, Herman will drop his key to the chest. Pick up Herman's chest key and use it on the chest to open it. Inside, you'll find Herman's rowboat map. Pick up the map and you'll add it to your quest book. Now that you have directions to the rowboat oars, it's time to find them. Equip your quest book and flip to the rowboat security page to find directions that use various landmarks throughout the jungle. These directions are just the first part of the map and will direct you to the second part, hidden in Herman's ingenious hiding spot. As directed, cross over the bridge, over the ravine, and take a left to the animal pig carving you interacted with earlier. Keep heading northwest to stay on the path and walk past the stinky flowers on your right. You will eventually come to a stone monkey statue and 2 barrels. The map says to pass the barrel with the octopus inside. Reaching inside the barrel to the left will inform you that whatever's inside is wet, cold, and squishy. The other barrel has something inside that's sharp and spiky. It appears that the barrel to the left is the one with the octopus, so take a left heading northwest. Walk over the ladder and stop at the fork. The left path has an old pocket watch along it. The right path has an old compass. Herman's rowboat map mentions tracking time, so take the left path with the old pocket watch. Don't go too far down the path just yet. Another one of Herman's notes is on the left side of the path, across from the old pocket watch. Read the note to learn that most of the ruins here were built to last, and it would take a direct hit from a meteor to damage them. This note is referring to the monkey totem nearby that holds a different monkey idol. We'll use that information later on in this tall tale. After taking the old pocket watch path, you'll soon come to the sea monkey's flag. Take a left at the flag and walk toward the pond. As you approach it, you should see a fishing rod to your right and an old boot to your left. The old boot is what you're looking for. Reach inside to add the directions to Herman's secret place where he hides the oars. Equip your quest book and flip to the last page to find the directions to the oars. Walk back to the flag and face northwest. Continue down the path until you reach a fork. Each diverging path has a grog barrel. The directions in your quest book mention to go down the path with the grog that doesn't knock you off your feet. If you equip your tankard and approach the grog barrel to the right, you'll see it contains near grog. Keep heading down this path until you get to the riverbed. Depending on your map, you could dig in one of 4 spots in the riverbed. If your directions mention hanging clothes to dry, you'll want to dig by the hanging clothes on the riverbed. If your directions mention a wooden fence, you'll want to dig by the wooden fence next to the footholds up the mountain. If your directions mention a crate of bottles, you'll want to dig by the bottles below the palm trees just next to the zip line. And if your directions mention an old dagger, you'll want to dig by the dagger stuck in the tree root across from the hanging clothes. Dig where your directions tell you, and you'll discover the rowboat oars. Now that you have the oars, you can attach them to the rowboat. Walk west of the footholds that lead up the mountain, and you'll find the rowboat on the shore next to a small waterfall. Approach the rowboat and attach the rowboat oars. With the rowboat in working order, you can now push it into the water and row east into the swamp. As you row east through the swamp, you'll spot a skeleton hanging from a rope over the water. On your approach, look to your right for one of Herman's notes shining in the sun at the foot of a large tree surrounded by bananas. Read the note to learn that the skeleton is holding a map. Row to the hanging skeleton and stop just below it. Stand up in the rowboat and take the buried idol map from the skeleton's hands. You'll add the map to your quest book. Equip your quest book and flip to the last page. You'll find a sketch of the dig site. The sketch will be one of 3 locations on Monkey Island. It can depict a banana tree, a monkey fist, or a wrecked rowboat in the swamp. If the sketch is of a banana tree, head to the south beach and dig at the banana tree just south of Herman's camp. If the sketch is of a monkey fist, head into the jungle and you'll find the monkey fist just north of Herman's camp across the ravine. And if the sketch is of a wrecked rowboat in a swamp, you'll find it in the easternmost part of the swamp near the sea monkey. Dig at the X to discover your first golden monkey idol. Now that you have a golden monkey idol, you must bring it to the mechanism hiding the cotton swab key, the giant stone monkey hand in the jungle. This stone monkey hand is open-faced, not clenched like a fist. Once in the jungle, look for the pointing stone monkey statues. As Herman said, these statues will always point you toward the stone monkey hand that you need to place a monkey idol on. Place the idol on the hand, and you will complete the chapter and unlock a checkpoint if you need to stop and return later. Alright, 1 idol down, 2 to go. Since you have a couple of clues for the caged monkey idol, you'll tackle collecting that one next. Head over to the island's west side, where the jungle ends and the crater begins. You should spot a giant ship's mast with 2 hanging cages attached. In one of the cages is the caged monkey idol. Before you start your mission to take it down, you can read another one of Herman's notes next to the mast. It's sitting on some planks on a hill just below the mast. Read it to learn that you can knock the mast over if you hit it with enough force. After you've read the note, continue heading west toward the crater. As you get closer to the crater, hug the north wall to find a path up. As you make your way up the crater, you will cross a wooden bridge, balance over a thin wooden beam, and climb up a ladder. After the ladder, cross another wooden bridge, and you'll reach a small gap with a wooden sign nearby. This is the Suntan spot. Remember this spot for later. For now, jump across and climb with the 2 footholds to continue on. You'll finally reach the crater and should see Herman's stockade across the water. Jump in the water and make your way to the stockade. Approach the door and you'll find it locked. You need the Stockade Key that Herman mentioned earlier to open it. On the door is a map with a red circle. If the red circle is on the bottom left of the map over a cannon, you'll want to go to the top of the crater to search for the Stockade Key. The key can be in one of the 3 pieces of furniture that you can open. If the red circle is closer to the middle of the map, over the water in the crater, you'll want to jump into the water and interact with the white suspicious boulders. Underneath one of them is the Stockade Key. Once you find the key, go back to the stockade and open the door. Once inside, you'll see a boiling pot, a spyglass, a book of recipes, a cannon, and one of Herman's notes on the table. Read the note to learn that the antique cannon is rusted in place. After reading the note, use the standing spyglass and you'll spot the caged monkey idol that you're after. You'll want to use the antique cannon beside you to destroy the mast and drop the cage with the idol. If you approach the cannon, it will tell you that there's nowhere to move it. Use the pulley in the middle of the room to raise the shutter in front of the cannon. If you approach the cannon after raising the shutter, you'll see that it has rusted to its spot and you can't move it, as Herman noted earlier. You'll need to use some of Herman's banana grease to grease the cannon and move it into position. Interact with Herman's private book of recipes and select the recipe for banana grease. You will add the recipe to your quest book so you can quickly see which ingredients you need to collect. The banana grease recipe calls for 3 blackened bananas, 2 coconut shells, and mineral oil. You'll need to decant it into a jar after you make it. First, pick up some wooden planks from the nearby wood barrel, head outside, and start a campfire at the stove by placing a piece of wood down and igniting it with your lantern. After you've started the campfire, go back inside the stockade and open the different pieces of furniture to look for bananas. Collect 3 and cook them at the campfire until you burn them. After you've burned them, you can place them in the pot inside the stockade. After adding 3 blackened bananas, you want to add 2 coconut shells. You can find 1 coconut shell inside a piece of furniture in the stockade, and another in a piece of furniture on top of the crater, where you can find the Stockade Key. Place both coconut shells in the pot to continue the recipe. The next ingredient is mineral oil. However, Herman is out of mineral oil, and you can't make it. Luckily, a substitute oil will do. If you read the recipe for the homemade suntan oil, you'll discover that Herman dropped some in the water while climbing to the stockade. Walk back down the crater and stop at the gap with the suntan spot sign. Hop down into the hole and you'll find a jar of suntan oil at the bottom. Pick up the suntan oil and swim east out of the cave and return to the stockade. Add the last ingredient to the pot and the banana grease is ready to jar. Open the small cabinet to the left of the pot to find an empty jar. Pick it up and interact with the pot to collect the fresh banana grease. Turn around and grease the antique cannon with the jar of banana grease. After you do, set down the remaining grease somewhere you'll remember in the stockade. Now, push the antique cannon forward, grab some cannonballs from the cannonball barrel to your right, and fire at the mast. You want to aim just above the top of the mast. You can equip your spyglass right after shooting to see how to adjust your angle. After you destroy the mast, the 2 cages will drop to the ground. Pick up the half jar of banana grease and take the zipline down to the cages. After landing on the ground, head towards the cages, but look for one of Herman's notes on a red rock to your left on the way. From the note, keep walking to the cages. As you approach, you will find that the cage with the monkey idol is locked. However, you can open the other cage with the skeleton. Set down the banana grease and open the cage. You'll find a journal, gold tooth skull, and a gunpowder gummy. Pick up the gunpowder gummy and place it on the lock of the cage that holds the monkey idol. Now that you've primed the idol cage, you need a way to ignite it. You can't use a gunpowder fuse, so you must get creative. To ignite the gunpowder gummy and blow open the cage, you'll need to harness the light from the sun to create a chain of reflections across the island. Once you reflect the light around the island to the gunpowder gummy, it will explode and release the monkey idol. Before leaving to start the process of igniting the gunpowder gummy, pick up the jar of banana grease and walk over to the 3 spiked skulls just southwest of the cages. Interact with the middle stake and try to remove the weathered skull. As it is, you won't be able to. However, you will learn that something can loosen the skull. While holding the banana grease, interact with the stake to grease it. You can then interact with the weathered skull and remove it. Leave these stakes for now and head to the Black Pearl to start your chain of reflections. These stakes are at the end of the chain that you'll finish setting up later. To start the chain of reflections, go to the east side of the island by the Black Pearl. You'll find a knocked over spyglass stand on the beach. Interact with the spyglass stand to raise it. Once you lift the stand, you'll see that the spyglass is missing. To find it, follow the trail of monkey footprints next to the spyglass stand into the jungle. You will shortly come to a cracked spyglass on the ground. Pick it up and place it on the spyglass stand. Looking at the spyglass, you will see a large beam of light reflecting off its lens. You will use this lens to eventually ignite the gunpowder gummy. But you'll need to bounce that light across the island along the beach to reach the gunpowder gummy. If you follow where the beam of light is pointing, you'll see that it is pointing to 3 spikes with a weathered skull on the middle spike. Remove the weathered skull, no grease required. You'll need a shiny replacement to continue the chain of light. The coconuts on either side of the central spike should hint at a particular coconut on the Black Pearl that you can use. Captain Coco. Step aboard the Black Pearl once again and talk to Captain Coco. After you speak to Captain Coco, you can interact with him to rescue him. He'll then hop off from the wheel. However, you can't pick him up just yet. Captain Coco is damaged and needs help seeing. Luckily for Captain Coco, you can find something to aid his eyesight in the sea monkey. Go to the sea monkey shipwreck north of the Black Pearl. Walk inside the captain's cabin and you'll see several pieces of furniture that you can interact with. Open up both cupboards, pull out each cereal box, and search inside every one for a suitable eye for Captain Coco. After finding a handful of toys, you will eventually find the Toy Admiral's monocle. Head back to Captain Coco on the Black Pearl with your prize. Holding the monocle, interact with Captain Coco to repair and promote him. Now that he can see, you can pick him up. Take Admiral Coco to the 3 stakes the first spyglass points to and place him on the middle stake. The beam of light bouncing off the mounted spyglass will now hit Admiral Coco's monocle and reflect farther down the beach. Follow the beam of light south by southwest to some rocks on the shoreline. Next to some wooden crates and planks will be a knocked over spyglass. Raise the spyglass stand and it will reflect the light even further. Continue to follow the beam of light west to an already standing spyglass. Interact with the spyglass to discover it points at the 3 spikes you greased earlier. Head over to those spikes. As you probably guessed, you must find something shiny to reflect the light and hit the gunpowder gummy. Conveniently, Gold Tooth Skull is the perfect object to place on the stake. However, if you put it on the stake, you will see that the skull will slide too far down and the beam won't reflect to hit the gunpowder gummy. You'll need to add some padding to raise Gold Tooth Skull higher on the stake and complete the chain of light. Walk past the cages to the east side of the fallen ship's mast. In a small clearing just southeast of the mast is a raised crate with 3 coconut shells, Herman's treetop supplies. So, walk southeast from the end of the mast into the jungle and you should shortly find Herman's supplies. Use your sword and damage the weak part of the rope holding the crate to lower it. Pick up the supply crate, return to the greased stake, and place the 3 coconut shells on the middle stake. Then, pick up Gold Tooth's skull and place it on top of the 3 coconut shells on the stake. The beam of light from the spyglass at the Black Pearl will finally reach the Gunpowder Gummy and ignite it, blowing up the lock and opening the cage. Take the golden monkey idol out of the cage and head into the jungle. Follow the stone monkey statues to the stone monkey hand and place the idol on the hand. Placing the idol on the hand will complete the chapter and unlock another checkpoint if you need to stop and return later. Alright, one more idol to collect. As you've been trekking through the jungle, you will probably notice that tall, hand-carved monkey totem with a monkey idol at the top of it. As you've seen, many pirates have failed to climb to the top. Instead, you'll take another approach and knock down the tower to reach the idol. Head to the riverbed on the island's north side, where you found the rowboat earlier. Once you reach the riverbed, look for a shaded group of red rocks with an inkwell just south of the bridge to the footholds. Sit on the red rocks to take in the view at this Memoir Spot. Stand up from the Memoir Spot, walk north over the wooden bridge, and climb the 2 footholds. Once you reach the top, you should find another one of Herman's notes on the side of the mountain. Read it to learn that you will be doing the opposite of everything Herman advises in this note. This is your last note from Herman. You will unlock the Castaway's Musings Commendation after reading it. After reading the note, turn to your right and you will see the primitive art. Just next to the primitive art, along the cliffside, is a rock and inkwell. Sit on the rock to take in the view at this Memoir Spot. Stand up and approach the primitive art. It's time to cause some damage. Rotate the art until the side without the boulder is pointing directly south towards the statue with the monkey idol. After you've rotated the art, climb up the next footholds to reach the top of the mountain. Along the cliffside will be an inkwell. Sit on the cliff to take in the view at this Memoir Spot. After you finish the Memoir Spot, interact with the pile of boulders next to the Don't Touch sign to pick up a boulder. Then, place the boulder on the carved X on the ground at the corner of the cliff. Push the boulder once you've placed it on the X, and it will land on the primitive art. If you've rotated the art correctly, the boulder will launch off towards the monkey totem and break it. The monkey idol it held will fall to the ground for you to pick up. Don't chase after the idol just yet though. You need to use the primitive art 2 more times to unlock 2 easy to miss commendations. Climb back down the primitive art and rotate it once to the left. The end of the art should now be pointing towards Herman's camp. You should be able to spot the smoke coming out from the jungle behind a large tree. Climb back up, pick up a boulder, place it down in the X, and push it onto the art. The boulder should fly over the jungle and hit the lone banana tree on the beach, causing several bananas to fall out. Hitting the banana tree with the primitive art will unlock the No Fruit Picker Required commendation. One more time now. This time, however, you'll be aiming for your ship. There are only a couple of places where the primitive art can reach the water. One of the places is where you dock your ship. Climb back down to the primitive art and rotate it to the right until the end of the art is pointing southwest towards your ship. Climb back up, pick up a boulder, place it on the X, and push it onto the primitive art. The boulder should then fly over the jungle and hopefully hit your ship. Use your spyglass to watch the boulder and see where it lands so you know how to adjust your ship's location if you need to. Hitting your ship with the primitive art will unlock the Whoops Commendation. Alright, now it's time to go retrieve that monkey idol. From the top ledge, take the zipline down to the jungle and head to where the monkey totem is. Pick up the golden monkey idol off the ground and head into the jungle. Follow the stone monkey statues to the stone monkey hand and place the idol in the hand. The stone monkey hand will then raise and reveal the cotton swab key. Pick up the cotton swab key and return to Guybrush. When you reach Guybrush, he will open the gate with the help of Spiffy. Walk past the gate and head to the right side of the stone monkey head. Holding the cotton swab key, insert it into the head's left ear. You'll need to interact with the cotton swab key several times before the monkey head will open. Once the entrance to the catacombs is open, Guybrush will then put on a necklace that makes him invisible and offer you the head of the navigator. You'll need to use the head of the navigator to make your way through the catacombs. However, before taking the head of the navigator, there's a nearby memoir spot you can sit at. Facing Guybrush, turn around, and past the monkey statues and stones, you will see a lone crate with an inkwell. Sit on the crate to take in the view at this memoir spot. Return to Guybrush and take the head of the navigator. The head of the navigator acts like a compass and will face whatever direction you need to go. However, specific paths in the catacombs, usually paths forward, will only be present after some time has passed. That means you might have to follow the head around in circles before the correct way reveals itself. The head of the navigator will constantly adjust and correct itself when a way forward is available. As you go through the catacombs, you'll also want to stay close to Guybrush. Don't walk too far ahead of him. Guybrush will usually comment on the direction the head is pointing or suggest staying close when a path forward opens. Holding the head of the navigator, walk into the monkey's head mouth and climb down the ribcage. As soon as you step foot in the catacombs, walk over to the right side of the landing and you'll find bunches of purple mushrooms. One of the mushrooms will be by an inkwell. Sit on the mushroom to take in the view at this memoir spot. Follow the head across 3 narrow stone bridges into a chamber that splits into 2 paths through 2 large archways. Track the head through both paths, one a dead end and one a loop, until the way forward opens up in the southeast. Keep following the head of the navigator down the open path into a new lava-filled chamber. Stop before the pool of lava and turn left to the north to find the first of LeChuck's journals. Read the journal and continue to follow the head around this lava-filled chamber until it finds a path leading out of the room to the south. You will come to another chamber with two paths that connect and create a loop. Once you follow the head around the loop, it will eventually find a new way forward to the east. Exit the room and walk halfway down the stairs to the east, and stop at the first landing. Turn to your left to find another one of LeChuck's journals. You should be able to spot the next journal farther down the path from where you're standing. After you read the journal, walk the rest of the way down the path and turn left to find the next journal from LeChuck. You'll do another loop around the chamber until the head of the navigator finds a new route to the north. Go through the path and follow the head through this chamber until it takes you to a skull that Guybrush will interact with. From the skull that Guybrush picks up, walk left up the stairs and you'll come to the fourth journal on the ground. Don't hop down here, you still have one more journal to read before you leave this area. From the fourth journal, head east over the bridge to find the fifth and final journal on the ground, next to some mushrooms. Guybrush will find and drop a different journal that you don't need to read, so don't worry about that. The head of the navigator will eventually lead you down a path of rock platforms you need to hop down. Make sure you read all 5 journals before hopping down them. You'll shortly come to a massive drop into a pool of water. Jump in and slide down the flume to the next part of the catacombs. Follow the head of the navigator until it leads you out of the lava-filled chamber to the south. Hand the head of the navigator to Guybrush and walk into the final chamber. The final chamber will have LeChuck's ghost ship in it. Approach LeChuck's ghost ship, and Guybrush will take off his necklace. LeChuck will immediately spot you and Guybrush and sail down the lava tunnel. Just as all hope is lost, Elaine and Kate will emerge with a headless monkey out of nowhere. After the cutscene ends, you want to sit on the rock next to an inkwell that overlooks the headless monkey. This is the last memoir spot in the tall tale, and you unlock the Memoirs of a Legend Volume 3 Commendation as soon as you do. Hop on the ship and lower the sails to chase down LeChuck. Just as sailing on water, you can still set the ship's speed using the sail length. If you want to go fast, lower all 3 sails. However, raise some of the sails if you want to go slow around a sharp corner. With the sails lowered, you can start the chase through the lava tunnels. Along the way, you will come across barriers of rocks that Elaine and Guybrush will destroy using the front cannons. Keep chasing LeChuck through the tunnels, destroying any barriers in your way. You will eventually corner LeChuck in a colossal chamber, forcing him to fight. To defeat LeChuck's ghost ship, you must destroy it 3 times. You'll need to send multiple volleys of cannonballs into it to take it down. Each time you scuttle a ship, it will reappear somewhere else in the chamber. Take advantage of Elaine and Guybrush on the front cannons, especially if you're sailing alone. Try and get behind LeChuck and let Elaine and Guybrush do all the work. Remember to raise a sail or 2 when you get into position behind LeChuck, so you don't sail past him. After you sink his ship 3 times, LeChuck will anchor your ship and capture Guybrush and Elaine. Luckily, Corinna will appear through one of her portals to lend a hand. She will then teleport you to a tunnel of the damned, which will ultimately take you to the docks of Melee Island. Once you're at Melee Island, hop onto the docks and speak with Kate. It appears that LeChuck has taken over the whole town. She will then tell you that she has a plan to help take down LeChuck, but needs you to stall him. You can find LeChuck in the church. So, make your way through the town of Melee Island to the church. Open the door and walk inside. After the cutscene ends, it's time to fight LeChuck. Inflict some damage on him, and he will quickly teleport outside. Open the door to exit the church and meet him on High Street. Once outside, the insult sword fighting will officially commence. Like Ribsy, you can only defend yourself against LeChuck and retort his insults. You must win 3 retorts to push LeChuck farther back into Low Street. LeChuck has all new insults with all new retorts, so you'll be adding more banter to your insult swordfighting arsenal. Here's a handy image with all of LeChuck's insults and their corresponding retorts. You can always return here to view them, or find them in the description below. After winning 3 retorts, you'll push LeChuck back into Low Street, where you will continue the insult swordfighting. Win 3 more retorts to push LeChuck farther back into the docks by Scum Bar, where he will take his last stand. You're almost there. If you win 3 more retorts, you will incapacitate LeChuck. While he's down, the Pirate Lord will appear and reveal a crate of root beer bottles. Run over, pick one up, and start spraying LeChuck. LeChuck will eventually explode, and you will have finally defeated him. After you defeated LeChuck, meet with the Pirate Lord, Guybrush, Elaine, and Kate on the docks. Once the cutscene is over, you can leave Melee Island. Return to your ship at the docks and sail through the portal to leave. You will complete the tall tale and earn your rewards as you go through the portal. If you have any questions, comments, or favorite moments from the tall tale, be sure to leave a comment below. See you on the sea, pirates!